My stepmother spent 6 years calling my seizures just bad luck. Then I found the app on her phone that controlled my insulin pump remotely. It started when I was 11. 2 years after my dad remarried, I began having sudden drops in blood sugar that made no sense. I'd wake up on the kitchen floor, my hands shaking, my vision blurred, while my stepmother knelt beside me with a glass of juice already prepared, like she'd been expecting it. The doctors called it unpredictable diabetes. She called it the burden we carry as a family. My father, who traveled for work 3 weeks a month, believed every word. The pattern always repeated. A seizure would happen the night before something important. My school trip, my dad's homecoming dinner, the weekend I was supposed to visit my biological mother. Each time, my stepmother was the one who found me, the one who called the ambulance just late enough to look responsible but early enough to avoid suspicion. Afterward, she'd cry in front of my father, telling him how frightened she was, how she didn't know what she'd do if something happened to me. He'd hold her hand across the hospital bed, and thank God she was there. I started doubting myself. Maybe I wasn't managing my insulin correctly. Maybe I really was careless, like she said. I apologized to her more times than I can count for scaring her. The turning point came the week before my 16th birthday. The same week my grandfather's estate was finalized, leaving a trust in my name that my stepmother would manage until I turned 25. 3 days later, during a family dinner she'd insisted on cooking herself, my blood sugar crashed so fast I couldn't reach my glucose tablets. I remember her standing in the doorway watching, not moving, until my father burst in from parking the car and found me on the floor. In the ambulance, the paramedic mentioned something offhand to the ER nurse, that my pump settings had been changed remotely just 40 minutes earlier. I heard it through the haze. I didn't say anything, but I didn't forget it either. That sentence changed everything, not because I understood it right away, but because it gave me something to check. The next morning, still hooked to an IV, I asked my dad to bring my phone and my pump's companion app. I logged into the manufacturer's cloud account. There was a second device linked to it, a phone I didn't recognize, with a login history stretching back 4 years. Every single accident lined up with a login from that device. I didn't confront her. I knew what would happen if I did. Tears. A story about a glitch. My father comforting her while I stood there looking ungrateful. So I gathered everything first. I requested the full login history from the pump manufacturer in writing. I pulled every hospital record, every date, every note from every doctor who'd ever written unexplained hypoglycemic episode. I asked my school counselor, who had once seen me collapse in the hallway, to write down what she remembered, and I waited until my stepmother left for a weekend trip to check her old tablet, still logged into cloud backup, where a browser search history showed her looking up how long after inheritance transfer before contest period ends. I brought all of it to my father first, laid out on our kitchen table, 4 years of dates next to 4 years of logins. I watched his face change from confusion to disbelief to something I'd never seen in him before. Then we went to a lawyer, and the lawyer brought in the manufacturer's records as evidence, and the hospital's own notes did the rest. The company confirmed the second device had made unauthorized changes to my insulin delivery on 11 separate occasions. She denied it at first, called it a mistake, said she'd only been trying to help monitor me remotely. But remote monitoring doesn't explain deliberately lowering delivery rates before family events. It doesn't explain the search history. It doesn't explain why every single episode happened when my father was away. She was charged. My father testified against her, though it broke something in him to do it. The trust was moved to an independent guardian, out of her reach. I'm 18 now, off to college in the fall, my pump managed by a clinic I chose myself. I still check the login history sometimes, out of habit, even though there's nothing there anymore. My father and I don't talk about her much. Some nights I wonder if he'll ever forgive himself for not seeing it. I've stopped waiting for that answer. I just know I finally sleep through the night, and that the numbers never lied, even when everyone around me did.